If you ignore the pattern hiding in Bitcoin's recent crash, you can miss the final and most explosive altcoin rally of this entire cycle. Now, while most traders are absolutely panicking over this drop, selling at a loss, here at Crypto Global News, we've analyzed the data and it shows that a deep mid-cycle correction like this isn't the end, it's the setup. So stick with me, because by the end of this briefing, you are going to have the exact roadmap for the next 6 months and the specific altcoin setups we are targeting for what could be some pretty massive returns. All right, let's get into it. First off, let's just acknowledge what's happening. There is widespread fear out there, a lot of tension, and this feeling that, the bull run is probably over. You can feel it, right? This quote just nails the sentiment. But here's the key. This feeling of complete capitulation, it's not a bug. It's a feature. It's a planned part of every market cycle. So, how do we flip that fear into an actual, concrete plan? Well, we look to history because it shows us a hidden pattern. On the one hand, you have the common belief, what everyone is saying, the bear market is here. But then you look at the historical data, and it tells a completely different story. It suggests the final explosive rally is just getting set up. And this is a perfect example. Just look at the last cycle in 2021. Bitcoin rallied to 64K, then crashed, a massive 51% drop. Everyone thought it was over. But what happened? It became the launchpad for a new all-time high and a legendary alt season. And this isn't a one-off thing. These deep corrections are totally normal. Back in 2017, we saw a 42% drop. Last cycle, 51%. Our current 31% pullback? It's really well within the historical playbook for a classic pre-rally shakeout. Okay, so if history is our guide, what does the path forward actually look like? Well, our analysis points to a very classic, very predictable market structure. It's all based on something called Elliott wave theory. It's, a classic framework that helps us map out market psychology, those predictable ways of optimism and pessimism that really drive everything. So a typical bull run moves in 5 waves up. We've seen those. We've just finished that big, powerful 5th wave. Now, according to the theory, what always comes next is a 3-part correction, an ABC pattern, and we are right in the thick of it. We've already had that first major drop. That's the A wave. But here's the crucial part. We are most likely due for what's called the B wave bounce. This is a super powerful relief rally that almost always tricks the bears before that final leg down. And this B-wave bounce is exactly where the real opportunity is, especially in altcoins, because we expect Bitcoin dominance to weaken here. So let's get to the actionable intelligence. Here are the key setups we're watching. First up, Solana. The analysis here is pointing to a really clear entry zone between $125 and $126. You've got a tight stop loss at $123, and we're targeting a move back up towards $134 and maybe even higher. All right, this next one is an asset that the source is really convicted on, specifically as a spot trade. And what that means is you don't even need leverage for this one. That asset is Zcash. It's coming right down to a key daily support level. And from this buy zone, we could be looking at a potential 50% plus upside. And finally, of course, Ethereum. The play here is to catch a bounce from the high 2700s with an initial target getting back above $3,200. Okay, so having these setups is one thing, but what if you've already taken some losses? For those traders, there's a specific playbook to not just recover, but to actually amplify your gains on this next leg up. Because the real question isn't just about finding the winning trades, right? It's about having enough capital to make those wins actually count. And this is where something called funded accounts come in. These are basically programs where for a pretty small one-time fee, sometimes as low as $99, you can get access to a trading account worth thousands of dollars. The strategy here is pretty simple, actually. You pass a trading challenge to prove you know what you're doing, and then you get to trade with a much, much larger capital base. This lets you make your money back way faster when your best ideas play out and you amplify your returns without risking any more of your own money. So the real takeaway from all of this is pretty clear. History is screaming at us that this is not the time for fear. It is the time for calm, strategic positioning. So the question is, while the rest of the herd is panicking, are you positioning?
Stay ahead in the crypto market. Subscribe now for the latest global news and updates.